Hotapu everyone, welcome to today's lesson. I wish to speak to you as a king whose job is to protect and nourish his people about the coronavirus situation. What I wished to do was to give you a spiritual perspective on what the divine world sees is going on with this worldwide pandemic event. So what I did was I have access to several oracles that we use. And I chose to use the Hygiene, which is these solid and broken lines you see here method, the Hygiene oracle. It's a very famous worldwide oracle. And I asked the spirit of the Hygiene to please share whatever you wish me to say to the world, to say to people about this coronavirus. And so I'm going to go through rather carefully through this reading with a sense of joy and bliss and wisdom and support and love and healing. No matter what you're going through in life, always try to find the smile in the situation. Find the place where your inner joy can give you consolation, comfort, warmth. Okay? So, I threw the coins and we got this pattern called the 50-second hexagram, which is called open, open, solid, open, open, solid. This is called the mountain. You can see it's maybe got the bottom parts here on the mountaintop here, and then a double mountain. It's called the mountain upon the mountain, or the double mountain. And I wrote here 50-second hexagram means meditating, because mountains are good places for cooling down, getting perspective, and clearing the mind. So this reading is saying that the coronavirus is a divine message. It may be other things. It may be environmental issues. It may be other kinds of issues, but I asked specifically for the spiritual perspective, not so much the etiological perspective or the biophysical perspective, but to give you a spiritual understanding of this physical event. Okay, so 52 means mountain upon mountain, or someone sitting on a mountaintop like this gentleman here, and it means meditating repetitively, underlined, meditating repetitively on positive affirmations and clearing the mind. Think of a mountaintop. It's cool, it's refreshing, it's quiet, it is peaceful, it gives you broad perspective, clarity. All of these things are metaphors of what he's experiencing most likely here. This kind of serenity and clarity and perspective about his life. And this coronavirus is forcing us to socially separate. For what purpose? Spiritually, for us to learn to meditate more. It is time that the world begin a worldwide initiation movement of meditation, where meditation becomes cool, it becomes common, it becomes every day. Every child, every grandmother can do it and should do it every morning. That meditation, the clearing of the human mind, the soothing and calming of the mind, should become like people's coffee, like your morning shower, like your lunch and breakfast. Something you do every day. So that's the main message. And we're going to move on in a minute to why it's saying we need to do this. But I wish to share with you a few details. I won't go too technically into the methodology of the Yijing, but there's a method that I use called the King Rasumaba method of analysis. And what we do here, I've listed it here, a few of the bullets of that method. I wanted to give you the method because this is serious for many people. Many people are very nervous, they're very anxious, they're very concerned. So I want to give you a somewhat full YouTube video on this, so you have depth of understanding, you have layers that can talk to different parts of you. Perhaps one thing I say may reach one person, another part may reach someone else. So I'm trying to soothe you, as many of you as I can, on as many levels as I can. So there's a method we use called the diagonal technique, where you get a table of the I Ching and you count 5 numbers on the diagonal from the first number. So 52 would be our number. We count 5 numbers diagonally from 52 on this particular code, this little grid, and you get 58. It's called the mate, or the opposite. So this is saying the mate 58 means fun, joy. It's saying meditation should be made fun, should be done in groups, with music and dance and silence and a kind of joyous event. It shouldn't be this kind of stoic, monastic kind of meditation, but we should all try with our families that we're now in our homes with and our loved ones. We should have time to meditate together, to calm our minds down, to get the clarity of the mountaintops, to be closer to God, and to see a bigger picture of our lives, to plan our lives better. Okay? And this should be a joyous thing, meditating. That's what 58 means. Joy, joy, joy. Happy, happy, joy, joy. It's saying that the mind cannot be joyous and calm and happy if it is burdened. Meditation helps to release the mental clutter. Then every hexagram, 52 has a quartet, which mean the forces behind the main hexagram. So 52, behind that is 51, which is anxiety. 51 means shock and the wake-up call. It means that life brings us shocks, earthquakes, wars, in this case disease, plague, death, loss. Life gives us blows, hurricanes, floods, okay? And that this is part of life. We cannot stop these things from happening. They're going to happen. So what do? 52 says meditating. Why should you meditate? 51 says why? Because life is full of shocks and sudden blows that catch you off guard. So if you meditate, you're able to withstand the blows of life, the shocks of life. And 51 says that the shocks of your life are wake-up calls to parts of you that are sleeping. It's that the universe sends us these shocks to make us more divine in consciousness, to make us grow in consciousness. And then behind 51, which is how to manage shock through meditating, is 30. 30 means clear thinking, very clear understanding of something. So by meditating 52, you are able to have a resource that can buffer you against life's shocks. And from that meditating on what the shock is, in this case, coronavirus, we're going to meditate on why this is happening to us as a planet, as a human race. When you meditate on the shock hitting us all in the human family, we will get 30, which is called clarity of mind, clear understanding that the mind is important, mental health is important, emotional well-being is important. Therefore, meditating should not be a thing for New Agers or tree huggers or monks. It should be taught in schools. It should be taught in churches and synagogues and imams and temples. It should be done at retreats. It should be done at picnics. It should become normalized. And then behind 30 is 1. 1 means strength, meaning mental strength, the power of the mind, mental fortitude, mental toughness. Okay? And it means heaven. The first hexagram means heaven, meaning a divine mind, a divine point of view, an optimistic, solid, inspirational way of thinking. Every hexagram has what's called a midpoint, what I call the centering point, what centers the first hexagram. What centers our meditating power, you divide 52 by 2, you get 26. Okay? And 26 hexagram line 3, we read line 3 of 26. 26 talks about meditating again. It says that you should meditate on specific affirmations, specific positive thoughts. Don't just affirm, oh, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wise, but actually take your time and digest that thought. Really take it into a contemplation place, okay? And let it in. Uh, don't just skate over it. Really digest it. And that line 3 is saying that if you do this, your blocks will melt away, okay? Even if you're in danger, you'll find the way around. You'll be cautious, okay? So a balanced meditation is meditating on a specific positive thought for about 15 to 20 minutes. And by doing this kind of meditative affirmation, it begins to melt away problems and blocks. Then I have what's called the phi hexagram, where you take the main hexagram 52, divided by phi, 1.618, you get the 30-second hexagram. The 30-second hexagram talks about endurance, how to make something last, how to go with the flow, that storms come and go, but the equations, the principle of storms are eternal, but this specific storm will pass. So 32 says that through meditation, you will find you have a grace through the storms, through the dark night of the soul, through the ups and downs. The phi hexagram is what makes you creative with meditation in this case. The creative growth that comes from meditating, because the phi ratio is the ratio of creative growth in nature. Then we have the pi hexagram. Pi is an irrational number. It never repeats and keeps going down, down, down decimally. The pi represents entering the irrational quantum field, the quantum particles, the super subatomic particles of consciousness and energy. So it tells you that if you work with this pi hexagram, you enter a state of bending matter, bending energy, bending consciousness and energy that will bring blessings, bring you blessings. So the pi hexagram, if you take 52 and divide it by pi, which is 3.14, you would get 16.5021, which we call the 16th hexagram. 16 is called singing to the gods, jubilation to the gods. It's all about music. It's all about dance, but like sacred dance, the high mysteries, the divine theater. Yes, holy dance, holy art, holy theater. And the use of sacred art, sacred dance, sacred song, sacred movement to help in the meditation process. That it's when you're in a kind of dancing reverie and a blissful song and joy and jubilation towards God, towards the universe, towards the higher mind, the higher consciousness. When you use your body and your voice and your song, you begin to move deep, deep subconscious quantum particles that help to change reality. Okay? And each hexagram has what I call a reduction or a fractal zoom in. So behind, if you took 2, 3, 4, and 3, 4, 5, you get a new hexagram called 55. And you take the middle of 55, you get 28. Hiding inside of 28, you get 1. And it ends at 1. So these are like the mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother of the hexagrams. So 52's mother is 55. Its grandmother is 28. Its great-great-grandmother is 21. I'm sorry, is 1. 55 means abundance for all. When we meditate, when we do 52, the mountain number, the mountain gig here, what will happen is we'll start prospering the earth. The earth will start greening again. People come into balance, and it will create worldwide global economic wealth. It's very interesting that the most, I guess we could say, the least capitalistic activity, one could say, is meditating. I mean, my goodness, it's very, very non-materialistic event. Behind meditating is world abundance, helping world hunger, helping starvation, helping disease, help becoming where every nation can find wealth and we can all share in abundance. It's amazing. It's an amazing message behind meditating is material. 55 is about cash money abundance. Behind abundance is 28. Learning not to focus that money just on materialism, on external things. 28 is called the pressure point, the critical mass, the sagging beam that's about to crack and collapse. So 28 means don't rely on external things. Don't be materialistic so much. And behind 28 rests one. Heaven will bless us. One means heaven. The word for the first section is called heaven, Chien. So behind meditating, which is 52, if we all meditated more, the world will become 55 abundant. But we must be careful with that abundance, which is 28, to not be too materialistic about it, that we may bring one or heaven on earth. Okay? Now, medically, 52 is made of earth and earth, mountain upon mountain, and mountain is the earth element in Chinese medicine. The earth element is called the stomach, spleen, pancreas system. This disease has something to do with, it somehow affects the stomach, spleen, pancreas system. I've not heard this being spoken about by virus experts or by doctors. I'm just going by what I know from over 30 years of throwing the Yijing, that the medical correlate should not be ignored. It's often a hidden clue to the medicine part of this. But Earth is called the stomach, spleen, pancreas system, and the spleen in particular deals a lot with immunity, immune system, and the stomach, of course, is nutrition, nutrients. So there's something showing up here in the reading about playing with food, like GMO, and something with genetic manipulation of food. The next hexagram that came after this gives me more of this clue about genetic manipulation. It's called 18th hexagram, work on what was spoiled. Okay, so I have here at the bottom the words of power that you can do to calm you down during this coronavirus challenge, to strengthen your immune system, your spleen, stomach, pancreas, to help your digestion, to help you digest what's happening, to help you understand that you are a divine being going through this experience, and to digest dealing with it in a divine, excellent manner. And the Heka is Wu Dong Gong, Wu Dong Gong, Wu Dong Gong. You just say the sound as you smile to your belly, and you see your stomach surrounded by a purple light with yellow. The inside of your belly, spleen, pancreas is going to glow yellow, and see this yellow wrapped in a purple light. Okay? These two colors will help heal and calm you. And sometimes hexagrams do what's called changing. One line may be very active and wants to change to its opposite. And in this case, line 2 changed, this one. You read from the bottom up. This is line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Line 2 was changing or stressing itself. There's a lot of activity on line 2, which is the pleasure line, the het heru line of the hexagram. And it talks to me something about we have to redefine different types of pleasure. We must make meditating fun. We must make meditating pleasurable. Okay, this is so important in this reading, so you can clear your mind. So when this line changed from yin to yang, we get the next hexagram, which we have here. Let's just scroll up our little screen here. And we come to, oh, I went one line too far. Okay, here we go. I went one page too far there. We come to this hexagram called 18, the 18th gate. And I put the words here because I thought it was interesting. It may be interesting for you to read it, perhaps with me. 18th is called gu, ku, and it means correcting. The judgment poem. Work on what has been spoiled has supreme success. It furthers one to cross great water. Before the starting point 3 days, after the starting point 3 days. The image poem. The wind blows on the mountain, the image of decay. Thus a superior man or woman stirs up the people and strengthens their spirit. Fascinating. This reading, 18, I want to go a little more into it. I want to take a little time with this. This talks about uh, actually uh, plague. You see this Chinese, this is the Chinese uh, word for ku. It shows a bowl with 3 worms, food with worms in it, some scene of decay, rotting, festering. And it implies that people are becoming too stuck to their screens, too stuck to their iPhones, too stuck to their iPads, and their bodies are rotting. When you sit too long, Chinese medicine says when you sit too long, it hurts the stomach. When you watch the screen, when you use your eyes too much, it hurts the liver. So certain behaviors tend to aggravate or heal specific organ systems. So this is talking about stagnating, sitting around, kind of rotting and festering, that we're not moving as much as the people. We are fixated. 18 can be obsessive. It could be an obsessive compulsive kind of energy, and an immobility, a kind of stubbornness, okay, and a lack of movement. That's why it said before in the phi ratio hexagram, music. We have to dance and move as a meditation. Music can be a meditation. Dance can be a meditation. Poetry can be a meditation. Watching a divine theater, and I meant divine dance, divine poetry, divine music, not just regular old music and poetry, etc. Okay? And it talks about things spoiled from our parents. In particular, when you read this text in detail, it identifies things spoiled by previous generations, which means there's something wrong with our culture that's being passed down. What's wrong with it is we're not making meditation our part of our culture and cultural norms. We're not making divine theater, divine art, divine music normal, constant, consistent. Okay? We're too we're too materialistic. We're too into the senses, into the pleasure, into the lower fun. There are higher funs, so to speak. There are higher pleasures in life. And we need to have people begin to create these centers and these educational movements where meditating and sacred art is fun. It's exciting. Because this reading says there's a stagnation of energy, like a pond not moving. And when you have a stagnant body of water, you get mold and bacteria and virus and worms and all kinds of creepy crawler things. When you're watching your screen so long, you're kind of rotting. You're not circulating your blood, circulating your lymph, circulating your chi. And as a result, bacteria are forming in our body. Uh, Bacteria are forming in our minds, what I call metaphysical viruses, metaphysical bacteria from the stagnant mind. Kind of wicked, evil things start brewing in there. Okay? But this talks about specifically a bowl. Here again, that picture of the bowl and rotting food. Maybe we should look at what we're eating. If it's true that this did begin in China, from what I've researched, they have said this is where it has begun through animals. They're being consumed. So it's calling us to look at how we treat. I'm vegetarian. Many people are vegetarian that I know, but not everyone's vegetarian. So it's saying this bacteria, this virus, began in animal meat. And we have to start looking at it as a world family, how we're treating our animals that we consume. What is the quality of care and cleanliness that we're using for those who are eating meat? Are the animals slaughtered as humanely as possible? Because when an animal is about to be killed, it knows this. Animals are very instinctive creatures. They release all kinds of horrible hormones and chemicals when they know they're going to die. And then you chop that meat up, you make it into a burger or a steak or something, and those hormones are just dripping in that, those fear hormones and those terror hormones are dripping in that meat. So you're eating all this animal fear, and it's on a certain fractal level resonating inside of you, this kind of fear, bestial animal nature. Can we improve our our animal meat producing process? Can we make it more humane? Can we make it more sanitary, more clean? In the old days, the animals were given free range. They ate organic, they ate nature with no pesticides and chemicals and hormone injections. And you weren't trying to torture your animal in a coop or a pen or a sty. They had a regular life. And that changes the taste of the meat, the quality of the meat, the texture of the meat. So there's something happening about the hygiene, because this is about a rotting situation, and that maybe there's something about the hygiene of the food in that particular part of China where this may have come from that is a message to the world. It's asking all meat-eating countries about their meat production process, both on the humanitarian level of how they're treating the animal, the poor little animal, and on the hygienic level, the biochemical level. Is it organic? Is it free range? Is it not pumped full of hormones? Is there no Monsanto happening here, genetic modification? This can also refer to plants being GMO'd, like the natural genetics, because 18 deals with ancestors or genes. So this gave me the clue that maybe there's something happening in our immune systems, or even animals might be eating GMO modified foods that's altering their biochemistry, that's creating this coronavirus to be more powerful. I am no doctor. I am no geneticist. I'm a high priest. I'm a king. And I'm a spiritual man. And what I'm telling you is what I know from 30 years of doing readings. I've done tens of thousands of Hygiene readings. And I've seen this over and over and over. Whenever I see 18, I always look into the gene pool. And lo and behold, I have found people with it have genetic predispositions in disease or alcoholism or something coming through the bloodline. So I'm definitely hoping to inspire the world to look at this. Those of you who are into that cause of non-GMO, non-animal torture for meat eating, uh, good treatment of the animals before they are uh, put to pasture, so to speak, and making sure that our grains are not being frankenfooded. What are these Frankenstein foods we're having created? So this image here kind of captures that, how we have to respect plants, respect nature's genetics, respect the animals that people are eating, and give them the best life, a clean life, a hygienic existence before they have to go uh, to the transformation into food. And that meditating, you see, if you meditate, you're going to find more compassion. We want to have, listen, this reading is talking about really corporate leaders, world leaders becoming masters of meditation. When I said before, the fractal zoom-ins, it went from 52 to 55 to 28 to 1. That 1, that Qian, that heaven, that Qian also means leaders. So what I'm saying here is we don't have a tradition worldwide where leaders should and must be masters of meditation. Imagine that. If all of our world leaders, our kings, our queens, our presidents, our prime ministers, whatever, If all of them were required by UN law or some kind of regulation to display high skills in the art of meditating, what would that do to world governments, to world policies, to world humanitarianism? So this is saying that this coronavirus is saying you're going to all be forced to isolate, like on a mountaintop, and to think, contemplate. But I want you to think about this. It's saying, think about, why are our leaders not being required to show consistency and proficiency in a very simple mental health activity, meditating? It makes you clearer, it releases stress, it makes you feel happy. What's wrong with it? There's absolutely no negative side effect to meditating. Many of the politicians are corrupt, like a bowl of rotten fruit. They need to clear their minds. And if they do so, I would love the heads of corporations and pharmacies to be masters of meditation, because meditation connects us to each other and to a divine mind. So we become less greedy, less corporate greed, less bottom line at all costs, less sell your grandmother out, sell the nature out, sell out the animal kingdom, chop down the forest, less of that situation. You see? So it may sound ridiculous what I'm saying. It may sound Pollyanna. It may sound airy-fairy. But I'm telling you, 30 years of doing these readings, I've not found one reading wrong. And what I'm hoping this video does, those of you who are hearing this message from heaven, some of you are in positions of leadership. Some of you have power. Some of you are leaders. And in whatever way you can, even if it's small or you have a small company or whatever it is, please, heaven begs you, institutionalize meditating as part of your corporate culture, as part of what your people do on the job. Imagine before you open the store, the clothing store, or the cookie store you may own, or the Apple conglomerate you may own, that before the day starts, you require all of your workers to have a 20-minute silence and meditating for the day's productivity, the day's fun, the day's wellness and happiness. Imagine that. This is not impossible, because not long ago, maternity leave was very hard to come by, but women had the strength to hold their guns and push for corporations and for uh, cultures around the world to make maternity leave normalized. You're weird now if you don't have maternity leave. You're considered a strange company. But that wasn't always the case. So even though it sounds impossible and maybe airy-fairy, I'm going to still hold on to hope. I'm going to believe in all of you and believe in the flame that you are, the candle light that you are, and that you can take this idea and light another candle in someone else who lights in someone else, and we start to sparkle the world and make meditation cool. Make it in, make it hip, make it the thing to do. Make meditation the new black. Let's do this. We have to change. We have to change what's happening to our planet and to our mind. So I'm going to quickly just tap on the meditation, the hexagrams links here. Okay. The diagonal 17 means meditation, like gurus. We need to have people who are master teachers, who are able to teach people how to meditate. 17 means a following. You need to have master teachers that we follow, who teach magnates, corporation leaders, parents, children how to meditate. The quartet is 18, behind 18 is 54. 54 is manners. That what's rotting, 18 is what's rotting around us. What's rotting is our lack of manners. We're so rude to each other. And that hurts people, and that hurt creates pain, cortisol, adrenaline, free radicals, depression, anger, frustration, all kinds of mental health issues. 18 is like mental health rotting. 54 says a lot of it's due to rudeness and insensitivity to your fellow man and woman. 64 means that uh, we have to keep trying to perfect this. We have to keep trying to do better. It's not ever finished. The job is not complete. That we have to have blueprints. We have to have methods put in place, cosmologics, meditation methods for corporations, for companies, infrastructure to help people know how to meditate, guidelines, that kind of thing, and keep tweaking the blueprint of this change in corporation and our culture. The midpoint reading is 9. 9 is called Taming Power of the Small. It refers to when people have a clearer mind, just talking to them about how to be better and how to act better will work. When the mind is calm and not fraught by, a bunch of demons and harpies of fear, guilt, all that kind of thing. When the mind is calm, you're able to make a change in your behavior just by being talked to like a human being. Okay? And it helps remove conflict. It helps to remove uh, opposition. Okay? And the phi hexagram, the creativity of how removing rot, mental and stagnating rot, we take, oh, this should be a different number here. This is wrong here. But the phi of 18 is 11th hexagram, which means this number here is wrong. Should be not 52, but 18. 11 is called peace, mental peace, mental peace. The earth needs peace. When we meditate more, that meditation removes the rot from our mind, our guilt, our pain, our tension, our pain. We become more mentally peaceful. The pi hexagram would be 5, called patience. Improve yourself and do a little better every day, and one day it will build up into a great big blessing. The fractal zoom-ins from 18 are 54, 64, and then repeat 64, 63, 63, it repeats. So it's really 54, which is manners, 64, which is good infrastructure, 63, which is check the infrastructure. 64 is have a good plan with good leadership, and then 63 is keep checking it and improving it. Okay, so what she's doing here, she's honoring, again, the stomach is the problem here. The stomach meridian deals a lot with who am I? The stomach asks, in Chinese medicine, the stomach meridian is called the yi. It has what's called the yi energy. Each organ has an energy. And the Chinese call the stomach's qi the yi qi. Yi means like thinking or intent or will. The stomach is your self-image. It's the thought that you digest as who you are, as your identity. In our system, we say Amun is the lord of the stomach. I am eternal, positive, cosmic consciousness. I'm not my fears. I'm not the fear of coronavirus. I'm not the fear of getting sick. I'm the one observing those things. I'm the calm observer. But to help you do that, I leave you with 2 things. One I've already mentioned. You chant Wu Dong Gong, Wu Dong Gong, Wu Dong Gong. You see that yellow stomach, spleen, pancreas area to your left side of your belly, of your body, and you wrap that in the purple energy, because the purple ray does kill viruses. The chi of purple does kill viruses and bacteria. So just sit there, if you're between commercials on TV land or taking a little stroll, just chant Wu Dong Gong and see those colors. The colors are very important. And as you're seeing the colors and you're hearing the sound in your mind, think of I have no more worries. This sound melts worries away. It's a worry melting heka mantra. Wu Dong Gong. It will improve digestion, improve self image, self esteem. If you have issues with overeating or undereating, with anorexia or bulimia, any eating disorders, any digestion problems, IBS, acid reflux, GERD, any of those things, this sound will help that. Okay? And the final thing I leave you with is we have a priestess in our temple. She has made a fantastic series of products called Vita Air on the screen here. She has made these from what I call essential waters. You know them as essential oils. We call them essential waters. She went into a trance meditation to the goddess Het Heru. Het Heru gave her in a dream the formula of Vita Air. A few months ago, I gave her a call and told her of a new formula that I received from the ancestors of a more powerful antiviral, antifungal, antimicrobial, anti-mold, and fungus formula. I received this formula from the ancestors, how they used to mummify the oils, essential oils used for mummifying the mummies to keep decay, mold, fungus, bacteria from rotting the body in the coffin. But this formula she received many years ago. She has a business. She's been in major stores like Whole Foods and big stores carry her product, but it is all organic. It is made by a priestess. When she makes them, she chants and prays over each bottle batch. These are essential organic materials, nothing in here fake, nothing synthetic, like lemongrass and uh, all kinds of essential oils. They are very carefully sourced, they're carefully vetted because not all essential oils are equal. She even ensured that each essential oil's origin is determined because an oil from Palestine, let's say a frankincense from Palestine, might be different from African frankincense, has different features because of the soil. So she's even done that work to find specific types of frankincense or types of lemongrass from certain regions and their specific effects. She is a massage therapist, neuromuscular therapist, and aromatherapist certified, and she's a high priestess of the goddess Ast, what some call Isis or Yemunja. Because she owns the waters, Ast and Yemunja own the waters. We call them essential waters, not essential oils, because oil has a connotation of kind of greasy and not healthy. So, what I'm saying to you is get this product. It is brought down by the goddesses. It is very reasonably priced. I don't make a dime from it. I cannot charge a dime for any of my healing work. This is not my company, but she is a priestess who trained under me. And so we have what's called the seal of Ma'at. It's kind of like the kosher seal, but for the Kamau, meaning, is it Ma'at? Is it kosher? We have our own standards of excellence in our products and our activities here. So the other effect that she put into this formulation is to calm the mind. So you spray this, it kills virus, bacteria, it inhibits mold and fungus, and it also soothes the mind. There are essential oils, essential waters in here that calm the nerves. Okay, so this will help you. It's a very sweet, light, delightful smell. It will just make you less stressed about this whole coronavirus situation while helping to protect you. You spray it wherever you want. We use it to clean our kitchens, our stoves, our countertops. We don't use in our temple harsh chemicals to clean. We have our own products we make, and I'm going to make more of them public. Through her, she's going to mix them. I brought her the more powerful formula we're going to have in a few months, hopefully, of a 30 essential oil combination in one bottle. It's very potent against microbes, bacteria, fungus, mold, black mold, parasites, germs, bacteria. Okay? So I wanted to give you something you can use from the goddesses, actually, the goddesses, that can help not only sanitize your environment from the virus, but also help your soul, your mind, your meditational state calm down through all of this coronavirus challenge. Okay? So we leave you the last picture here of love. Do not let stress get to you. Smile through this because smiling helps any situation. Be wise, wash your hands, stay 6 feet away, follow the science, minimize social contact, okay? But do all this with a loving heart. Be kind to each other at your 6 foot distance. Be sweet and tell jokes 6 feet away, okay? There's a song, I meant to put the link on this YouTube video I found on YouTube. Type in YouTube, search YouTube, Simon and Garfunkel coronavirus song. Simon and Garfunkel coronavirus song. It's a kind of parody song about coronavirus, but it's through music. And it talks about the virus and what it's doing and how it's traveling, but also how to become humane through it all. And this matches what the reading says, making meditating through music. So if you can, just go to YouTube, type in Simon and Garfunkel coronavirus music, and play. It's a very cute, sweet, informative, and uplifting perspective on coronavirus that will help. Share that video with people you know so they can be not so heavy and scared about what's happening. And may we find love and our humanity through this challenge sent to us by nature to force humans to take meditating as a fun norm that we all do around the world, especially our leaders and our young people. So may love flow faster around the world than this virus. Dwa Wen Hotepu.